Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Unstoppable podcast. I'm your host, Diana Chen, and I'm here today with our guest, Harsh Rajat. He's the founder at EPNS, Ethereum Push Notification Service, which is the world's first decentralized push notification protocol. Also, really quick, a special announcement. We recently partnered with EPNS to integrate our .crypto domain names with their push notification service. So you can now receive notifications from any decentralized application or smart contract to your wallet using your name.crypto domain name. Very exciting stuff. And welcome, Harsh. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Diana, and I'm just really happy about our partnership. So, woohoo!
I am as well. Yeah, we just kicked off today, and I'm really excited to see where everything goes. Before we dive deeper into EPNS, I want to know a little bit about your background and how you got into crypto. So take me all the way back to when you first heard about crypto and when you first got interested in it. When was that, and how did you get interested in it?
Got it. So, long story coming, by the way. So before crypto, I was a mobile app entrepreneur. I used to create mobile apps and games. Got at the right place at the right time. That was 2010. Apple just launched iOS version 3, if I remember it right. And we just started creating apps and games. Luckily, the first app which we created, it was called 360 Web Browser. It went on to become the top 10 in the US App Store in its own category. And that was the start of the journey. It did really well. And of course, with any technology or any app that does well at that point of time, you are looking at all the new tech that is coming out, and you have to push out all the features to the user. So yeah, that was when Apple also launched their push notification service. Apple Push Notification Service in short. And if you would have already guessed it, that thing basically tied up to Ethereum Push Notification Service. But yeah, moving forward, 4 years down the line, 2014-15, I was kind of getting bored with just programming on apps and games. So at that point of time, I started exploring various tech. I love to dabble in everything tech. So around that time, I started dabbling in AI, machine learning. I started even creating some viral content websites, some backend servers, whatever was popular at that point of time I was doing. Around that point of time, of course, Bitcoin reached $1,000 and was in the news. So, of course, that got me excited. So I started trading. I followed the classic concept, which was buy high, sell low. So yeah, uh, didn't really earn a lot of profit from it. But yeah, thankfully, that was my entrance to crypto. Very quickly, I realized that this is a very new space, very bleeding edge. And I also realized that, whenever some new tokens or coins were launching, there was a pattern, which was like if they are launching on tier 3 exchanges, then whenever they go to tier 2 or tier 1 exchanges, of course, there's a demand or a value hike. I realized that, quickly created a bot. The bot basically decided which exchange is popular, which is not, based on the old data. And then it kind of arbitraged and traded any coins that were launching on tier 1 exchanges, and if they were available on tier 3, it was listening to Twitter, Binance page, and crawling all over the web to do that. So yeah, that point of time, I think not a lot of people were doing that. So it performed really well. And in 2016-17, it started picking up a lot of ERC20 coins. So of course, that spiked my interest. And then I started checking Ethereum out. And it was at that point of time I realized that you can program on Ethereum. Till that point of time, I was like Bitcoin maximalist. But yeah, at that point of time, of course, I realized that now we have programmable money. And of course, I wanted to dive in to see and understand what we can do with it. So that was 2018. Of course, I because I had experience in the field of mobile, that you cannot dive into something and expect to be a know-all. So you have to gather the experience around it. So in 2018, I joined a company. They were doing P2P meta transactions and exploring identity. Was there for 1.5 years, and then at the later part of 2020, I decided that I should get into or I should explore decentralized entrepreneur journey, where uh, uh, I should explore decentralized entrepreneur journey when it's the right time. Because what's the point of doing that when all the missing pieces have been solved? So yeah, that was 2020 end. Around that point of time, I sat down. I went through a lot of dApps, a lot of smart contracts, and I was trying to contrast that experience with a lot of services which we use, like Gmail or PayPal or Venmo or Amazon, whatever whatever fitted that kind of category. And very quickly, I realized that there's a huge gap in communication when it comes to Ethereum, or when it comes to any smart contracts or any dApps. So yeah, if you think about that, whatever we do in Web 2.0, whether it's receiving mails, whether it's Venmo payments, whether it's our Amazon parcel delivery, whether it's our social status, or even our WhatsApp chat or messages or FaceTime calls, everything comes in the form of notification. Or in other way, the service basically sends the service basically sends a communication to the user that, hey, this is something which might be important for you, and come check it out in case you want to. And when you go to Web3, surprisingly, this is absent, because there's no communication layer on blockchain, and because of that, a lot of problems happen. So if you're talking about DeFi, loan liquidations happen. Now, when is the last time you have heard that you were sleeping and the bank came and took your house? That doesn't happen in Web 2.0. But yeah, in Web 3, you can sleep and your loan liquidation can occur. And you cannot really do anything about it because you don't get to know about it. Then you think about governance proposals. A lot of governance proposals are missed because users, they don't come to know about it. Even domain names, they whenever they are near expiry, notification should be sent out to that wallet address, because that is how the Web3 way should be. And yeah, even NFT auctions or security audits or security bugs, or anything in between, they require communication. So yeah, that was the idea, and that was the genesis of Ethereum push notification service.
Amazing. I definitely want to dive deeper into some of the use cases so that our listeners can really understand just how useful of a service EPNS really is. But just to back up a little bit, what would be your best advice for people listening who are maybe developers or engineers or come from a tech background but brand new to the blockchain space? What's your best advice for them for how they can learn more about blockchain?
Got it. So the best thing to do is join a hackathon. Actually, Chuck, that the best thing to do is write to Ethereum Foundation. They basically will guide you in the right direction. But yeah, most of the time they will say join a hackathon and just go and build your stuff there. There are a lot of things that happen in the hackathon. One of the things which the hackathon does to early developers is it gives them access to a lot of mentors, a lot of people who have built a lot of top projects in the entire ecosystem. They are there, and now you have access to them. They can also guide you on certain different things which a project usually needs. So if you think about it, you have a project, or even if you want to explore blockchain, hackathon is the best way forward, because there are people who know how to guide you, especially in the early stage. And there are also people who are Web3 leaders over there. So they can tell you about your idea, how to build about it with the long-term vision in mind.
Love it. And then what do you see as some of the major issues right now that's preventing mass adoption of blockchain technology? Even we have very talented developers and technologists out there who haven't gotten into the space yet. What do you think are some of the roadblocks that are preventing people from getting into the space?
Sure. So, I mean, when you are thinking about roadblocks, I see more like I see a pattern over here. So I see this to be like the early days of internet. A lot of people came in. A lot of people were shy when early internet came in, and it was for good reasons. I mean, there were a lot of things that needed to be solved. Uh, a- One of the things was the modem noise that definitely needed to go away. But yeah, lot of things. Uh, I mean, the only problem with blockchain at this point is that there's still a lot of things that needs to be solved. Still a lot of problems that needs to be figured out, and sometimes it becomes very costly to figure that out, or sometimes a new innovation is needed. So that is the only thing I see which hampers adoption. Uh, but uh, but in essence, I also see that to be the case with any technology, even if it's internet or machine learning. They have already covered that journey, or AI, it has already covered that journey. So when AI first started, I mean, it was so hard to solve any problem. But then they kind of evolved. Internet evolved. The first days, or the early days of internet, I mean, HTML and CSS3 is what I can remember. And it was so hard to create a website, and we all had those flashy GIF websites. And internet has come a long way from then to now, and I see that to happen with blockchain as well. So many new innovations are coming up. I mean, now you have blockchain domains that basically make sure that your data is always secured. It cannot be taken away. You have uh, content that you can basically publish and make sure that it will never go away. So a lot of things are coming up which are privacy centric. A lot of people are realizing that web 2 had some problems which web 3 can solve. Most of the problem kind of originates from a master client relationship, wherein the server is the master, and whatever it dictates, all the clients, they have to listen. And web3 kind of solves that with a peer-to-peer connection, and blockchain is of course a part of it. So yeah, I see this to be more like a journey. It's always fun if you catch a train early on, because you get to solve a problem, and you get to talk to awesome people like Diana. So yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, no, that just reminded me of all the video clips that I've seen lately come up from, people on major TV networks from back in the early 90s talking about internet, and like, what is this internet thing? Or like people, seriously doubting Amazon, and then, or even trying to describe what an email address is, like, what is this at symbol? And it's so funny. I think that that's sort of the stage that we're at right now with blockchain, where it's something that people in the space understand, but I think a lot of people, even who work in crypto, still have a hard time explaining crypto and explaining blockchain. And it's probably something that we'll look back on in 10 or 20 years and maybe, giggle at the way that we tried to explain the technology, when it's going to seem like second nature in the future. But at this point, it's still so new and so hard to wrap our minds around. So I want to talk a little bit more about EPNS now. You had mentioned previously Apple push notification. So I think that's a good comparison for what EPNS is doing for Web3. So like right now, for instance, like all my devices are Apple. I've got a MacBook, an iPhone. Whenever I get a text message, I get a push notification to all of my devices. If I get emails, I get push notifications. And so this is basically what you're trying to build for Web3 on Ethereum, is the same sort of idea, right?
Yes, actually, Let me explain, because a lot of people kind of misconstrue us as a service when we are basically a communication middleware. So to understand push notifications, you have to understand how they work. And we can take Apple for this as an example. So basically, whatever notifications are happening on Apple, any app which wants to send notification to the user, they cannot send it directly. What they do is that they send these notifications to a middleware, which is from Apple. It's called Apple Push Notification Service, and any communication or notification flows through this middleware. Now, this middleware basically is very important in the entire architecture, because it has two main jobs. The first is it kind of sequentializes every communication aspect. So Apple as an ecosystem or a operating system doesn't have to listen to Facebook server and WhatsApp server and Discord server and thousands of apps and their servers, and then form those notifications. It will drain out the battery at an instance. So this middleware makes sure that Apple as an operating system is only listening to this middleware. And the second thing this middleware does is it makes sure that the app is not spamming the user. So as long as the user opts in to receive the notification, only then the app, whatever notification they have sent, can be flown out. And this is what we are bringing in the decentralized world. Now, there are a couple of distinctions. When we are talking about the Apple middleware, it's basically tied to one ecosystem. And that's good. That works for them. But when we are talking about Web3, the Web3 ecosystem is not closed. It's open. So MetaMask is also in the ecosystem. So is Trust Wallet. So is any other platform or Trezor or any other Web3 gateway. So because of that, we needed to make sure that whatever communication layer we develop, it kind of follows an open standard. So that's one distinction. The other distinction is that we, of course, realize that blockchain is still coming up. So we cannot just rely on Web3 open communication. We also have to have a bridge from Web3 to Web2 communication. And that's what also EPNS supports. So that's why, when we are sending a notification on blockchain, it is able to go on blockchain, and then from that bridge comes to your mobile devices, which is from Apple. So it kind of is going through our middleware to Apple middleware to you. And that's one way to communicate. The other way, which we envision in the future, and that's our end goal, is all the crypto wallets, they support EPNS protocol. So then it comes like that. If you are on MetaMask, you just open your MetaMask wallet, and voila, you have a notification from whatever service, and that is coming from blockchain to blockchain. So yeah, those are kind of two distinctions which set us apart. And of course, Apple notification works very well. So of course, we have borrowed certain ideas from their middleware as well.
I think that's so cool. And I think one of the most awesome things about what you guys are doing is that I think you're really speeding up the getting the mainstream involved in Web3, because I think a lot of people right now, they maybe they've dabbled in crypto a little bit, bought a little bit of Bitcoin, they have a wallet, maybe they checked out CryptoKitties, maybe they have an account, somewhere else, maybe they have an unstoppable domain, like random things here and there. But I think most people haven't really made the connection of putting all of this together in Web3. And I think what you're doing is making it a lot more user friendly for people to use Web3. So for instance, like if I follow certain NFT artists and I am waiting for one of them to have their next big drop, then I can set my push notification so that when the artist drops their next collection, I'll get a notification. So then I'll know to log on to Nifty Gateway or wherever, and I can go and buy that thing. Or like if I'm getting paid in crypto and I just got my paycheck, and then I can get a push notification that says, hey, you just got your paycheck. I'm like, okay, awesome. I can go on a shopping spree now, or I can go and buy whatever I've been waiting to buy. Like it just makes things move a lot faster, and it helps users to be able to react in real time. Are there any other like important use cases that you can think of just to give people more ideas of like how EPNS can really improve their user experience on Web3?
Definitely. I mean, first of all, those are really, really amazing use cases, Diana. Uh, it's surprising that, as something as simple as someone sending you crypto, you don't get a notification for it. So yeah, we again are very happy to be at the right place at the right time, and being given the opportunity from the entire committee to build this. The way we are building this is we are making it extremely flexible. It's content independent. That means that notifications can basically be anything you want it to be. So it can be images, it can be call to action, it can be YouTube videos, but let's not stop over there. The way we think is that it can even carry a encrypted transaction, or it can even carry a payload that can basically transform into a decentralized video service in the future. Kind of like all the things which happens on web 2, like the FaceTime call you get, that's a notification, but it has a different payload, and the entire system understands it and then connects you to whoever you want to call or talk to. Same way, we have kept the content and the storage really, really independent. So so yeah, I mean, imagine a future wherein, of course, NFTs, artists, they are able to finally send to their fans that they have launched something new. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, a decentralized video service comes in, and all of a sudden you have decentralized video calls, or even go a bit further. Let's talk about gaming. If a gaming platform launches, and you have CryptoKitties, if something similar like that launches, or you have a epic card which is put on auction, that can also be taken care of. NFTs, royalties, we can talk about royalties. I mean, whenever the NFT sells in a secondary market, the artist can get to know about the royalties. We can talk about on-chain as well as off-chain governance, because again, this is a communication layer. That means we are not listening to a on-chain event. We support on-chain and off-chain events. So yeah, it really depends on the imagination of the service. We are just providing them with a communication protocol that is just strong enough to handle everything, and then we just say that go bonkers, just build whatever you want to build, guys.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see all the different I mean, I'm sure there's so many use cases that I can't even imagine right now that are going to pop up with, how you can use these push notifications. So EPNS is still relatively new. Who's your user base right now? Is it sort of just like the hardcore crypto people that already have a lot of crypto and they're using a lot of dApps? And then I guess how long, like in your ideal world, how long will it be until everybody or all crypto users are using EPNS?
Well, I hope it's not that long, Diana. But yeah, right now, I mean, we have users that care about the product. We also now have started getting traction with a lot of users who kind of realize that we are able to fill certain needs for them. So right now we have a massive gain in terms of subscribers on our protocol, uh, which who just wants to receive payment alerts for their wallets. So we launched a wallet tracker channel. So it basically, what you have to do is just go to app.epns.io, and you will see a list of channels. There's gas fee tracking channel, there's wallet tracker, and a whole lot of other awesome channels as well. And you, as a user, whatever channels you like, you just click on subscribe, and after that the service will basically decide what to send you. For gas fee, the service will send you about the highs and lows of gas. For wallet tracker, whoever sends you ETH, you will instantly get notified. So finally, at least for the payment part, we have solved some of it. Hopefully we'll do more tokens soon. So yeah.
Awesome. And then I also was wondering too, like what you're doing is a brand new thing. There are no other companies out there doing what you're doing. So, what has that experience been like being first to the space and the only one in the space? You know, you like how has that been with trying to get resources, trying to learn, trying to find market fit, all of that stuff? Like, has it just been a crazy ride?
Uh, it has been. I mean, it has been a crazy ride, uh, but when we started, Diana, Matt from Unstoppable Domain, we got connected like really early on. Uh, and it was because, in a Medium article, I wrote that I like Doom, and Matt also likes Doom. So yeah, that's the reason we got connected. But yeah, he helped us a ton in understanding the space and making connects. Same with Ethereum Foundation. We wrote to Ethereum Foundation, and they said, this sounds really cool. Let's help you guys build it. Same with almost every Ethereum community member who we have met, especially the people who have built Ethereum, like Unstoppable Domains, even Uniswap, Gitcoin. So all of them, they basically like the idea, and they were basically there as our mentors to guide us and to basically make us not feel scared or lonely. So we definitely haven't been lonely just because of these awesome people. Of course, it's exciting to build something which has never been built before. Of course, we know that because it's never been built before, it will probably break a ton before we get just the right fit. So that's why we say that we are on Alpha Rob scene, and we are trying to work and iron those features out. But yeah, very exciting, and I mean, for me, it becomes like a challenge to solve this, and I always love solving tech problems. So for me, it's like really, really exciting. I don't know what my team members feel about it, but yeah, I really enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, no risk, no reward is kind of like this is just like a whole adrenaline, next level adrenaline rush, right? Being not only being a founder, but being first in your space as well. Another thing I wanted to ask you about is you recently announced that you'll be releasing a new token called the Push token that will allow anybody that has the token to vote on core functionalities of the EPNS protocol. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Sure. So, of course, Push is our governance token. It made sense to call it Push, Ethereum Push Notification Service, and Push just has that vibe. And we expect a lot of memes around it secretly, so that's also one of the reasons. But yeah, coming back to the point, Push is a governance token, but it also has certain other things that we have built into the token itself. The first thing we realized was that because we are the first, we have to make sure that we design a game theory around the entire ecosystem in a way that everyone wins, whether it's the users, the services, the the crypto wallets, or the token holders. And basically, Push enables that. It carries a lot of incentives. It carries its own version of liquidity mining, what we call usage mining. So in essence, we will incentivize third party developers who come and build useful notification on top of the protocol by giving them these tokens. That's the second use case of Push. The third use case of Push is the fee split. So we, of course, realize that for this to have a very huge network effect, we need to integrate the Push protocol or EPNS protocol to all the user wallets. And when we are because they are part of the ecosystem, it's an open ecosystem. It's not like a closed ecosystem that we only have our app. We want this to be integrated in MetaMask, Trust, or whoever has a wallet. And the design or the game theory behind designing the Push token is that if these crypto wallets, they integrate the protocol, then through governance they can basically pass or move a proposal that, hey, I'm bringing 10,000 users or a million users to the protocol network or the notification network, which means that I think I should take 30% of the fee that will be generated by the protocol. And if the governance passes, of course, they can take that. So that's one more use case of the push. Of course, because the token holders are going to be governing everything. So we have some great rewards for them as well uh, in all the three use cases. So yeah, that's the game theory about push in general. It kind of governs, it rewards the users, and it makes sure that whoever participates in the ecosystem, they basically have a fair use and incentive to support our protocol.
That's awesome. And do you have a timeline yet for when people will be able to get involved with Push?
Sure. So we actually have an IDO happening around 13th April. So it's going to be very, very soon. Uh, right now, we are going to be launching on Uniswap. We are doing an IDO with Polka Starter. Though, just a heads up, guys, there are a lot of people uh, who kind of are scamsters. So just be careful. Just visit our website epns.io and go from there. That's good. In terms of governance and protocol, as I said, we are alpha Robscene. So we are going to be launching the mainnet protocol around early Q3 if everything goes smoothly. And that's why we are doing pilot collabs with all the top projects in the ecosystem. One of the reason is that the V1 of the middleware communication layer needs to be very, very strong in supporting each of their functionalities. So right now we are at that phase. So yeah, very, very close to launching V1. But yeah, it's not the end of the journey. I mean, we already planned for V2. We already have a roadmap. In essence, we want notifs to come not only from layer 1 of Ethereum, but also from layer 2s. And then later on, we want to expand it to the entire Web3 ecosystem. So yeah, we are kind of brainstorming on the best way to do that. It seems like that we'll probably be launching receiving P2P nodes or push nodes as we call it. But yeah, more on that later. I think I already gave a lot more away than I intend to do. So yeah.
We got some exclusives on this podcast. No, that was perfect. I was just going to ask you what's new for EPNS in the next year, the rest of 2021 and the next year, and you answered that and gave us even more. So that's awesome. Last question for you is, where do you see this whole space being in 10 years? So if you had to envision where we're going to be in 10 years, how we're going to be operating, the way we're going to be thinking about this technology, describe that scenario to me as much as you can.
That's easy. To the moon. I mean, jokes, jokes aside. Uh, I mean, in 10 years, we just have to look back. A lot of people forget to look back. I mean, 2010, Bitcoin was launched. People never realized that we will be talking about NFTs and 69 million NFT has been sold, and DeFi and flash loans and zero collaterals. So yeah, I mean, if someone would have said at that point of time, hey, with blockchain, you can take a loan and you don't really have to raise any collateral for it. Maybe, that person would have thought that this guy is out of his mind. But yeah, that became a possibility. So again, in 10 years, I mean, I definitely see a whole lot of use cases coming up, which we haven't really thought about. DeFi is just 2 years old, for crying out loud. So yeah, we don't really, we are just, I mean, we have just arrived or announced to the world that we have arrived. It's not just about trading. It's not just about speculation. Here are the use cases. You can build a global bank out of it. You can even build a bank which has different rules than your traditional banking system. And that was not really possible before. And because of that, kind of created a gap in innovation, because when you had to create a bank or when you had to create a financial segment, you had to go through so many loops and so many regulations that you cannot really risk to innovate or experiment. But with DeFi, you can do that. You can create your own game theory around it, and if it is liked by the people, it can become the next global bank. I see in uh, I see in 10 years that we'll have at least several banks using their own smart contracts, uh, and making sure that the user transact on it. I see the technology to become more invisible, just like the internet. I mean, right now we are talking on a video protocol. So right now we have like three or four protocols that are working in conjunction to make sure that this podcast is happening. But we don't really get to know about that. I see the same effect going or getting into blockchain and the entire ecosystem as a whole. I see two or three more inventions happening, which I cannot really predict about. I think no one can. So yeah, at least one thing I know, that even in the next 10 years, we will not know who Satoshi Nakamoto is. So yeah, in one way, we are all Satoshis. So yeah.
Okay. All right, awesome. I love the prediction to the moon. So to wrap up, I've got two questions that I received on Twitter from people who had some questions for you. The first one is from somebody from Vikas. He says, I have EtherDrops bot, which gives me notifications on my Telegram about my wallet transactions. So why do I need to have EPNS?
Got it. So yeah, exactly. This is the thing which we covered in the start. Uh, if you really think about it, Etherbots is a service which is using their logic. Then they're forming notification, which they're giving to Telegram. Then Telegram, as a service, is probably interacting with either Apple ecosystem or Google ecosystem and sending that notification out. So what we are building is a decentralized version of the Apple or the Google push notification service. We are not building services on top of that middleware. If you have to think about it, again, I'll go back to the internet. I think that has become my favorite analogy. So right now, someone can be Facebook, someone can be Google, someone can be Orkut, and they are basically using internet, which becomes their communication layer, to communicate whatever they want to their users. EPNS is that communication layer. It basically provides a communication layer to the Ethereum platform, which other services can use to send notification about anything, even wallets, even notifications about your podcast, NFTs, or anything in general. So yeah, in a way, I mean, TLDR, I talk a lot. Telegram, the bot in Telegram, it basically is interacting with the communication layer of Telegram to send notification out to you. That communication layer of Telegram is what we are building for Web3, and not that bot.
Got it. Got it. And then the second question is from Jigsaw Conferences. What would you say are the main strengths and weaknesses to date for this project? And where do you see the project in 5 years? I like that question.
Wow. I like that question, but it's a hard question to answer. I don't. So yeah, strengths and weaknesses of the project. Strengths. We are the first one to do it. Lucky to be at the right place at the right time. Have really really awesome people to support us. That's also a strength because we can tap onto their experience. It's a commodity not many people realize is needed whenever you are innovating. You cannot do it by yourself. Anyone who says that he did a project by themselves is probably lying or probably not aware of all the people helping them out. uh, Community as well. Community love is a strength. The tech part, I kind of know what sort of tech we want to do, so that's kind of like, I'll not call it a strength because we know the vision what we want to achieve, but we also know that there will be challenges that will come. So let's check that out of the strength. The weaknesses, I mean, we wish we do this really really soon. But we know that, when we are building something which is one of the first, it needs to be tested really, really thoroughly. We don't want to build a Bitcoin that in 2 or 3 years has a security issue, and because of that, everything collapses. So yeah, with weaknesses, I mean, the way forward is clear, but we also know that there will be different pivots and different directions which we have to take uh, in order to make sure that the project and the communication layer as a whole is really, really powerful. So yeah, I don't know if that answers the weaknesses part or not, but right now that's the way I feel.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think that does answer the question. I would almost see that as like flipping it around. I'd almost see that as a strength because you guys have already built your team up to what is it, 15 people, and I'm sure you're, quickly growing. You've got a ton of funding, so I definitely see you guys building this up, you know, in as quickly as humanly possible, to do something like so brand new and so cutting edge. So I think you guys are doing great. Well, Harsh, I really appreciate you taking the time to be here and tell us more about EPNS. I really think this is the future. I think, in 10 years, everybody's going to be using EPNS. So I'm really excited to see where you guys go with this and how it gets built out. Before you go, just tell everybody where they can find you if they want to connect with you personally. And then also, EPNS.io is the website, but remind people again what they can do on the website right away to, maybe keep tabs of the governance token push that you have coming out, and then also to be ready to test out the V1 when it launches in probably Q3 of this year.
Awesome, awesome. So yeah, guys, as Diana said, go to epns.io, and from that, go to any of our official channels like Telegram or Twitter. But more than that, there's a section over there that takes you to app.epns.io, which is our dApp wherein you can explore all the cool features that we are building, as well as see the notifications in action. While we are on Robscene, I mean, we are delivering live notifications from mainnet. Uh, of course, you need to check a app out and download the mobile app out, but you have all the instructions over there. So yeah, sure, definitely do check us out, and then come on Telegram if you want to chat with us, like long conversations. Then yeah, head to Telegram. We are at EPNS Project. But yeah, much better way is follow the website. Remember, we are launching our push tokens on 13th of April, and we are only going to do it on Polka Starter IDO, and then followed after that on Uniswap. We are not going to do any flash sales. We are not going to do anything other than what you see on the website. So yeah, please be careful, guys. The space is very, very early, and because of that, there are a lot of people who try to take advantage of new users. So yeah, whenever in doubt, or whenever someone says that you only have 1 hour to do something, never do that. That's my only advice.
Very good advice and very good reminder. And then, of course, you can also go follow Harsh and message him directly on Twitter at Harsh Rajat. Well, thank you so much, Harsh. Really appreciate you taking the time again, and had a great conversation with you. Thank you, listeners, for tuning in, and we'll be back again soon with another episode of the Unstoppable podcast.
Thank you for having me, Diana.